Well, welcome to Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Coming up in a few moments, Matt Eberflus sat down with Bears.com, Larry Mayer, and talked about the draft and had some different thoughts about what the Bears could do, especially with that number 9 overall pick. So we'll dive into that, and I'll react to it here on the show. But listen, we're trying to get to 91,000 subscribers here on the channel, and what do you have to lose? It is 100% free to hit the subscribe button. Give us a week. If you want to come back in a week and unsubscribe, if you're not satisfied with this program, you can do that, but we're not going to charge you a dime. We're going to continue to plug out daily content, a lot of times, 2+ videos per day, live twice or more per week. Give us a shot, the best Bears coverage here on YouTube. All right, let's talk about the draft. Matt Eberflus, did he reveal the Bears' plans at number 9 as he sat down with Larry and Mayer, discussed some different scenarios. Here's a snippet of what he had to say. He said, having that number 9 pick is a really good spot to be in. It's right there at the top. We're going to get a blue, talking about a blue chip player there for sure. What we've done in free agency allows us to be flexible, to be really able to take the best player, one we feel fits us in that spot. And look, he's kind of alluded to this a couple of times now, talking about that blue player, and teams kind of tier out players. Blue chip is like the best of the best. Some have purple, which is like even above blue. Then you go down to red and then different colors for, just depending on what they feel like their ceiling is. Blue chip is this guy's got all pro potential. He's an instant starter, yada, yada, yada. And it seems pretty clear the Bears want that number 9 pick, whether they pick there or not, to result in a blue chip player. Now, I think these 7 players are almost certainly going to be gone by number 9. Could there be exceptions? Could it be someone else instead of Malik Nabers, perhaps? Could it be like Odunze instead? But if it's true that some teams have Nabers higher than Marvin Harrison Jr., I think he's gone. I think the 4 quarterbacks on the left side of your screen are gone. Caleb is going to go to the Bears, obviously, and then Jayden Daniels, Drake Maye, J.J. McCarthy. I think there's enough buzz around those guys. They're going to be gone before the Bears pick at 9, which is good. You want a 4th quarterback to go, which means somebody could drop to Chicago. Again, MHJ and Nabers. I think Joe Alt's likely gone. Chargers or Titans, I think we'll take him. And then it comes down to, what do the Falcons do at 8? And then who could fall to number 9? I think there's a really real opportunity that Odunze is still sitting there. Now, maybe a team calls Atlanta and trades up for Odunze. Who knows? I think there's a chance Dallas Turner is there, although I think if the Falcons pick, he is the likely candidate. Felice Fuaga is likely there, a player I really like. The only question is, can he play left tackle? Jared Verse, Byron Murphy, 2 other defensive line options. Olu Fashanu out of Penn State, who I don't think is as good as Fuaga, but he's a left tackle, so you got to factor that in. Brock Bowers, Laiatu Latu. Like, there's going to be good players there. And the question is, for the Bears and how they're tiering their rankings for these prospects is, what is the blue chip cutoff? Is Odunze the cutoff? Like, if he's gone and Alt is gone, are there no more blue chippers? Or maybe they have a few more. Maybe they think Jared Verse and Byron Murphy are blue chip players. So the way I kind of see this is, if when the Bears pick at 9, if there's 1 or 2 blue players left, as the Bears like to call them, they're likely not going to trade down. Because if you move down 2, 3, 4 spots, those blue chip players probably go. But if there's no blue chip players left, which seems unlikely based on the way they're talking, they're pretty confident at least one's going to be there. Or if there's 3 or more left, then maybe they would trade down to like 12 for Denver, for example. Say they have 3 players left, well, 9, 10, 11. Chances are one of those guys still is sitting on the board at number 12. So you got to be thinking of it that way. I don't think they're going to trade down if they're worried about risking a blue chip player falling off their board. So again, if there's 1 or 2 left, they're probably just going to stay put at 9 and select that player. What will the Bears do with the number 9 pick, in your opinion? Do you think they're going to keep that pick, type K for keep, or do you think they're going to trade that pick, type T for trade? Pen comment on today's video. If you get hit with that YouTube ad break, go ahead and reply with the K for keep or a T for trade. Matt Eberflus also talked about the desire of adding another impactful defensive lineman, something we've talked about on this show. Obviously, you've got Montez Sweat, who would fall into that blue category, but you don't really have anyone else. I don't even know if you have a red player. Maybe Gervon Dexter if he takes the leap that they're hoping for, but I think the Flus here is hoping to add another big-time player there. Here's what he had to say. He said, it's important we get that piece because you have the 1-2 punch. It can be inside as well. You look at who affects the quarterback the most, I would also argue that the inside piece is something that we should be looking at, and it's important that we do that. Direct line to the quarterback when they max protect. It's a soft spot in the protection. We're looking at all pass rushers that can be inside, outside, all along the line. We're having an open mind in that regard. And look, Flus is going to push defense, right? He's the head coach, but he's got a defensive background. He calls the defense. He's got a defensive coordinator background. If it were solely up to him, he would like to get another pass rusher in there, but you would also think that he would have the wherewithal to say, hey, if Rome Odunze's there, that's probably better value than Dallas Turner or someone like that. So we'll have to wait and see, but I do think that Matt Eberflus would like to get one more dude on that defensive line, because if you get him one more guy there, then you're kind of set on that defense. So I certainly understand that desire. So coming up next, we'll explore some top defensive line prospects, some players the Bears could take at 9 or maybe trade down for if they want to add to that defensive line. I'll also kind of run through my scenarios with that number 9 pick and what I would like to see the Bears do. But first, got to tell you about our sponsor today. That is Game Time, the best ticketing service available. You can download the app today at your app store. Just search Game Time. It is right there. And you know what sucks? Not being able to purchase tickets online in an easy manner. And listen, it's all digital these days. You're not calling up Soldier Field and having them print out tickets for you to go pick up. You got to do it all online. That's just how it goes. Same thing with Cubs games. White Sox, as they're back in action with the season underway in Major League Baseball. Bulls making a push down the stretch to lock up that play-in tournament spot, hoping to improve their seating there as well. What Game Time offers is an easy and painless way to purchasing those tickets. No more stress, no more drama. You just purchase the ticket, and you're going to get it shipped to you within minutes digitally via email. Then you can add it to your Apple Wallet, etc. Whatever your phone is, Android, that's fine as well. I also like that they get the best prices guaranteed for you. If you find the same ticket on a different ticketing service for a cheaper price, you show Game Time that, they will lower the price for you. So go check it out today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. They got flash deals, zone deals. I can't tell you how many times I've used this app on the day of a game or a concert that I want to go to. My wife and I woke up one Saturday last fall, wanted to go see Post Malone. Boom, search Game Time, got the best price available, and had a heck of a time. Use promo code ChatSports when you download the Game Time app. That's going to get you $20 off your first purchase. You can also use your Venmo balance to buy tickets, which I think is great. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Link is in the comments and the description. Also, just search Game Time in your app store and use the promo code ChatSports. All right, let's take a look at, I think these 6 prospects are round 1 worthy in this NFL draft on the defensive line. Not necessarily in any order. I just did the edges first, then 2 defensive tackles. Dallas Turner, really explosive athlete. Little undersized for a 4'3" traditional guy, so I don't know if the Bears would take him at 9, but certainly a guy with a high ceiling. Jared versus Laiatu Latu certainly fit the bill more of a 4'3" defensive end. They're bigger. They have a little more experience of putting their hand in the dirt, especially Jared versus. Latu has the injury background, medically retired at one point, so that's obviously something the Bears have to check off on. Chop Robinson, great traits, kind of like Turner, really good traits, really good athlete, but he has some decent pass rush skills as well. He would certainly be a trade-down option. I don't think he'd be a guy you take at 9. Byron Murphy could be a guy you take at 9. I think he's the best defensive tackle in this class. Jer'Zhan Newton was that at one point, and maybe he'll still end up being that in the NFL, but the fact that he has not been able to train much in this pre-draft process, I've lowered him a bit. I think he'd be a great guy to trade down for, but Flus talked about it. That interior pressure is so critical if you can find a guy like that. And if they're unsure if Javon Dexter's ready to take that next step, then I wouldn't be shocked if they wanted to bring in a 3-tech like Newton or Murphy. So, I certainly understand that outlook from Flus. And I guess my point is you can trade down for a D lineman. Not all 6 of those players are going to be there if you trade down, but at least a few of them are. Even if you move down to, say, 15, 17, 18, not all those guys are going to be gone. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to the defensive lineman situation. This is kind of my ranking system of what I would do with the number 1 pick. Number 1, if one of the top 3 receivers is there, MICH, Nabers, Odunze, I don't think all 3 or even 2 will be there, but I think there's a decent chance 1 is there, most likely Odunze. That's an automatic turn in the card. You don't even take calls for a trade, in my opinion. Number 2, I would probably go Joe Alt next. I think he's an upgrade over Braxton Jones on the left side. I think that gives you 2 really good bookend tackles for a long time, along with Darnell Wright. If the top 3 receivers are gone and Joe Alt is there, I would take Joe Alt. Number 3, that's when I would explore a trade down. Because you could trade down and get one of the other offensive tackles. You could get one of the next receivers like Brian Thomas or Adonai Mitchell, et cetera, or a defensive lineman. So I would do that. If a trade down's not available, at least one you don't like, I would explore Talise Fuaga. Now, you have to be sure that either he or Darnell Wright can play left tackle. That's the only way you can take him. But if you feel like that scenario is there where one of them can play left tackle, that would be my 4th option. And then 5th, take the top defensive lineman available on your board. I would prefer to trade down for one because, again, I think a few of them will still be there. But, again, takes 2 to tango. If there's not a trade you like, then just take the top defensive lineman available. It could end up being your top defensive player on your board, and then you keep it moving. What is your dream scenario at number 9? If I haven't made it clear, it's getting one of the receivers. If Rome Odunze is there, let's ride. Pair him with Caleb Williams along with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, and you've got a hell of a trio. Arguably the best trio in the NFL, although the Houston Texans adding Stephon Diggs may have an argument to say about that, as they just traded for him moments ago. But, yeah, I'm really bullish on the idea of getting one of those top receivers. All right, to sign off here, we'll kind of keep the D-line theme going. Could the Bears re-sign Ngakoue? Could he be kind of the fallback plan? Flus saying you need to add another piece there. Now, I don't think Ngakoue fits the bill of, yeah, he's that 2 in that 1-2 punch that Flus is talking about, but, you know, he's a guy that at least knows the system. I thought he did play a little better once Montez Sweat came in here and garnered more attention. I think Ngakoue is able to clean up a few more plays than he was earlier in the season. I think he would have to take a contract, you know, at a fraction of what he got last year. Would he get $10 million? I mean, could you get him for like 4? That's probably what I would be looking at there. But, again, the Bears only have 4 picks. We know what one of them is going to be. It's going to be a quarterback, almost certainly Caleb Williams. And, you know, round 3, round 4, this is not considered a super deep defensive line draft. So if that number 9 pick doesn't turn into an edge or an interior defensive lineman or a trade down for one of those positions, I do think after the draft, and you should keep an eye on this, that the Bears will likely explore that edge market again, just like they did last year when they ended up with Ngakoue. Now, I don't know if they'll wait until training camp to do it. They signed Ngakoue in August, but I would expect Ryan Poles to add another pass rusher after the draft if they don't get one during the draft. So be sure to keep that in mind and monitor that situation. I don't think they'll sign one before the draft, but as the draft comes and goes, if that's still a need to add a piece, you could bring back Ngakoue. You could go sign another vet. There's a few guys still out there. Would you bring back Ngakoue? Y for yes and for no. Type your answer in the comments on this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to plug out content on a daily basis for you guys. We'll be back this afternoon with another video. We'll be live tomorrow as well. Lots to come as we're just over 3 weeks away from the 2024 NFL Draft. So hit that sub button. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down.